And now presenting David Piccolomini doing his Roseanne Barr impression.
Oh, good. It's my favorite podcast, Bottle Episodes. Welcome.
No, go by all means.
Welcome to Bottle.
Hang on, wait a minute. David,
right.
You go. Welcome to... Go ahead. I won't this time for real.
Okay.
Welcome to Bottle Episodes.
Welcome to Bottle Episodes.
I'm Daniel Crow.
I'm David Piccolomini.
We don't have a guest this week.
Yeah.
Our guest canceled.
They didn't even know they were going to be a guest. I hadn't gotten to that point yet. They had they just canceled the weekend. And then
a theoretical guest canceled.
And so we're celebrating Daniel's birthday with...
I'm 87 years old today. You remember all the times I've spoken about Antiques Roadshow and Ken Burns. I'm an old man.
Yeah, you recommended a Scrabble YouTube series.
I sure did.
And so we picked a welcome to Bottle Episodes. We should clarify. This is the podcast where we watch a terrible television show, and then we watch the pilot episode and the top-rated episode on IMDb to see if it got any better. And this week we're covering a Tom Arnold masterpiece.
Tom Arnold and Roseanne Barr.
Yes, that's true.
They created it together when they were a married couple. When she was known as Roseanne Arnold, and I think when they got divorced, she shouldn't have gone. She went back to Roseanne Barr. If she was a good comedian, she would have started going by the artist formerly known as Roseanne Arnold.
Just really?
Just lean into it.
I think she should have just kept Roseanne Arnold and kept Tom, been the most famous Arnolds.
He should have been Tom Barr. That's a power move.
Tom Barr, though, better name.
Yeah.
I would go see Tom Barr in an action movie. Tom Arnold.
I mean, people did see Tom Arnold in an action movie.
Yeah, there was
True
one.
Lies, yeah.
Oh, you were talking about Transmorphers: Rise of the Beasts?
No, sorry.
That's he's in an asylum picture.
Yeah, that's where he should be. There's Tom Arnold's career post 1994 is not great. At one point, he made a movie to appease his billionaire neighbor's son.
What?
Yeah, this came out the mid 2000s. So,
that first kid or whatever.
No, Penelope Spheris directed it. I think she made Wayne's World.
Okay,
and
Wayne's World was directed by a woman.
Yeah,
wonderful.
I
didn't realize it was feminist media.
Yeah, so if I'm remembering correctly, Tom Arnold's neighbor was a billionaire, and his neighbor's son's favorite movie was True Lies, and so that guy's dad was like, "Tom, can you make a movie like True Lies for my son?" And then I guess this kid, he's disabled in some way. I can't remember exactly how. And then Tom was like, "No, we can't put him in an action film." The guy's like, "Can you just make a movie anyway?" So there's this movie that pretty much is just the story of that guy asking Tom Arnold to make a movie starring his disabled son. And it's just literally it's the true story, but I think it ends with the kid getting to kiss his celebrity crush.
Wow.
I don't remember who it is though.
This is an insane thing I've never heard of.
Yeah, man. When I heard of it, I was like, they better have paid Tom Arnold well for this, because that's a pretty humiliating thing to have to do.
I mean, I think that's kind of how that
He's
works.
Starring in a home movie, essentially, a big budget home movie.
Yeah, the kid and I.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was that right? Penelope Spheris?
Yeah, Penelope Spheris, starring Tom Arnold and Eric Gores. Eric Gores? Former actor is about to commit suicide over his ruined career.
Jesus, Tom.
Throws out his stuff, gives his clothes to a homeless man. The man drinks Bill's vodka and takes half of his pills, messing up his suicide plan. Oh, he gives the clothes to the homeless man, and the man comes and drinks his vodka and takes half of his pills, ruining his suicide plan.
So Tom Arnold was basing this on his real life. So that was his head state after he made the Jackie Thomas show.
Yeah.
He was suicidal.
10 years after the Jackie Thomas show, he is really, yeah. Well, also Tom. You can't forget about Tom, the other TV show that he made.
That was
on CB.
essentially a response to this show getting canceled.
Yeah, basically.
And so let's dive into what the Jackie Thomas.
Okay,
show
so the Jackie Thomas show it's a show starring Tom Arnold as Jackie Thomas.
See, he's not the star. He's actually a side character.
That is true. He is a side character on his own show. I wonder if that's like. If
I think it's intentional.
Right. I did read that they were intending it to be an ensemble comedy, but it is still like I feel like you need a much stronger ensemble for it, or like.
I'll give Tom Arnold credit. I guess he is at least a little self-aware to know that he can't lead a show like a network sitcom.
Yeah, at least
because there wasn't like a natural fan base for Tom Arnold.
He's getting Roseanne runoff.
Yes, he was a comic, but he never blew up for his comedy.
No,
he was dating and then married to Roseanne, and she gave him things.
He was he was in the mix.
Yeah,
and then
so good self-awareness
to be like, I don't want to lead this show, but I want to. But it's just such a weird concept for a show to. I like the idea. I mean, there are versions of this that are really good, like the Crazy Boss.
Could be good, yeah.
No, there are versions of this.
What are you thinking of?
Like Great News.
Okay.
Great News is a very funny show. It's Robert Carlock. I don't think he wrote it. It's but it's produced by him. It's like from a lot of the Tina Fey people, and it's really funny. Actually, the writer of the creator of the show, I think, is in the show. She plays like a crazy weather lady. But it's a really funny show where what's his name? John Michael Higgins.
Okay.
He plays a crazy boss who's like super insecure and like.
Now, if Tom Arnold was really self-aware, he would have just been a writer and cast John Michael Higgins in his role.
Right. I think Tom Arnold isn't actually doing a bad job in this show.
I think every time he's on screen, any momentum grinds to a halt a little bit.
Really? I found that with the rest of the writers. I found the writers to not be that interesting. They were kind of bland.
No, they definitely are. Like, Paul Feig plays one of the writers.
Yes.
And, Paul Feig has an infamous Funko Pop made out of it, and that Funko Pop has more character than he does in this show. Have you ever seen the Paul Feig Funko Pop?
I think I have.
When they launched their director's line, they chose Paul Feig to launch it, and people were confused why you lead with Paul Feig Funko Pop.
Because he was the guy who answered their call.
Probably.
That's actually what happened. Paul Feig was the biggest guy
that would talk to Funko Pop.
Not even to talk to Funko Pops, but would like be like, yeah, absolutely. Let's do it immediately.
Do you know anyone that loves Paul Feig so much that they would get a Funko Pop of him?
I do know people that love Bridesmaids enough that they might get a Paul Feig Funko Pop.
They might get a character from Bridesmaids.
You're right. Paul Feig is a
Paul Feig Funko Pop? And it's not even like a character Paul Feig played. It's not like I
can't believe
we're character from Sabrina the Teenage Witch or something. It's just normal Paul Feig going about his day to day.
You forget there was a period for about 5 years post Bridesmaids that people had Feig fever.
I think this was post Ghostbusters. They released this Funko Pop, so the Feigver had subsided. Anyway, he's in this show.
He is in the show,
and I would say he delivers every line with complete disrespect.
Yeah, he's throwing him away.
He doesn't seem to want to be there.
I
and
think
not just that's the character's supposed to kind of be like that, but I also get the impression he doesn't want to be there.
This is like why I encourage more diversity in media, because Paul Feig should have been played by a gay man. That should have been a gay man who's kind of over it.
Well, that wouldn't really make sense for the character who's supposed to be an old friend of Jackie Thomas.
Oh, you're right. That's
who would
fair.
never be friends with a gay man.
Yeah, that character definitely was homophobic.
So so Jackie Thomas is a comic that has his own show within this universe.
Yeah,
and he's a meathead jerk.
He literally is I think he plays like a grill guy.
A gorilla guy?
Grill.
Oh, grill guy. Yeah. So
they don't really explain what the show is.
I'll get into what I think the show is in just a second, because I'm trying to really set up the universe. So Tom Arnold and Roseanne Barr created it together while they were married. And then this character he's just a jerk. Everyone that works for him is afraid of him. The network is afraid of him. But he's super popular. The show's the most popular thing in the world, so he can get away with anything. He's an idiot. He's a man's man that like lifts weights.
But he's like a fake man's man.
Yeah, he is. But he yells at everybody. He's an idiot. And I'm pretty sure, well, first of all, I think some of this is just based on how Tom Arnold and Roseanne were at Roseanne. They admitted as much, essentially, that they were kind of terrors. But I think a lot of this is a parody of Tim Allen.
Really?
I think, because this is also when Home Improvement it's at its peak popularity.
Really? I didn't put that together, but yeah.
But also consider like Roseanne Barr and Tom Arnold.
That's
in the late 70s and mid 80s. They were also just like middle of the country comics like Tim Allen. Not a huge scene, not a huge circuit.
And
they definitely knew him, contemporaries. They knew him. They would have done shows with him. I doubt they liked him. I've never heard people say good things about Tim Allen, either as a person or have you ever met a comic who's like, my favorite comic is Tim Allen?
No.
There aren't really Tim Allen comic fans out
like
there.
Comedians who are huge Tim Allen heads.
No one really likes his, and I know people who have worked on shows Tim Allen was the star of, and
I've heard
they've said he's an absolute terror, a nightmare. And I really think the show within the show is supposed to essentially be Home Improvement, because he's like a man's man that's all about grilling. But then there's also the character of the son played by Breckin Meyer, who's like overshadowing him, just like the son.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Holy shit, they are just doing a Home Improvement parody.
These two hate Tim Allen. And yeah, I think they incorporate a little bit of their own reputation, which was also not sterling. But I think this is mostly, I hate Tim Allen. I don't like he is a TV show. I don't like he's successful. This is a giant middle finger to him. This whole show.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But trying to be Larry Sanders at the same time.
But the thing is, this show is directly following Roseanne. They got the best time slot on television. Roseanne is the number one show on TV when this airs.
That's the only reason the show exists, is because she's the number one. She has so much pull.
Threw her weight around to get this on the air. The people that like Roseanne are middle America working class people. That's who likes Home Improvement.
Who also like Home Improvement.
Why are you making your show that's anti-Tim Allen and putting it right after Roseanne?
Yeah, I mean, but also it's not smart. Like, it's close. Like, when you say it, I see it. But it's not like, maybe I guess I just don't have a strong backing of like who Tim Allen is as a person.
Like, everything I've heard is that he's every way that Jackie Thomas is portrayed.
He's just like that's so funny. The idea of walking in on Tim Allen lifting weights.
Yeah.
But no, actually, as I'm thinking about it now, I can see it. Like, I'm just replacing him in scenes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's kind of, when the show was working for me, in that first episode, I was like, oh my God, this is a giant middle finger to someone they came up with in comedy that they hate.
Yeah.
And I kind of respected it. But then, I mean, we'll describe the full episodes. The highest rated episode, they really kind of start to lean into that character. No, he's funny. You're laughing at him.
Yeah, we like him.
And you're like, no, I don't. This guy sucks.
When
you wrote him, you hated him.
I think it's interesting to make the Jackie, but it's like, it's that weird thing of you're not calling it a Tom Arnold vehicle, but that's what it
is.
But that's what it's being put out as.
Yeah.
Like, but it's not really though. Like,
there are no Tom Arnold fans. There's one. He lived next door to him.
Well, I think that's why they were trying to build this.
Yeah.
It's also in the 90s there were. Like, although I guess, is this before or after True Lies?
This is before.
Oh my God.
They're probably filming True Lies during.
That's funny.
No, he had been on some episodes of Roseanne.
Yes, I knew that.
Which, if you want to give him a TV show, just spin off his Roseanne character.
But, that's I guess that's the thing about it, is like, this was the idea to try and make him a star, get him fans and get him. But it's like, well, then why do you make him the most unlikable character on television?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's like a role. Like, John Michael Higgins is a guy we already like. You've seen in a million things. You already like him.
And he can pull this character off.
Yeah, he's you see under it, it's all insecurity.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest problem with it is, despite it being a show making fun of him constantly, he never is making fun of himself. Not making fun of himself, but it's never, the joke is always around how they're making fun of him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, he sucks. but it's never like he's not doing the stuff. Like all of his stuff is like the most basic version of that. Does that make sense? Like,
no, it does. Yeah.
Like he's never showing off his insecurities or like how he's actually bad at it.
I think they portray him as too dumb to have insecurities.
Yeah, but that's not an interesting character.
No, it's not.
That's a one-note character.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm on it.
Yeah. So yeah, well, I guess we'll describe the episodes. So actually, the other interesting thing about this show is it was right after Roseanne in the time slot.
Oh my God, yeah.
And they would start the episodes literally during the end of Roseanne. The characters in Roseanne would go, they would turn on the TV and be like, time to watch my favorite TV show, the Jackie Thomas show. And then we would be treated to like 30 seconds of the cast of Roseanne watching the Jackie Thomas show. And then the show would just continue without them.
Yeah, it would just zoom in and then it was a new TV show.
Yeah. So actually, when we're watching it on YouTube now, the episode starts like 30 seconds into the episode because the end of the episode is, the start of the episode is technically in the end of a Roseanne episode.
So we should have gone.
We should have found the Roseanne episode and watched the end of that because we missed like the first few seconds of these episodes on YouTube.
Well, I think that was only for the first couple.
No, both of them we watched, they like start mid-sentence.
Oh, I did not even.
Yeah. And so people were watching because they just thought Roseanne was still going and it was weird.
And it's also in that day and age of television, you switched in between shows. Like commercials would come on, you'd switch in between shows so you could find a different show to watch. But if you didn't have a show to watch and you just were already watching this, all of a sudden 5 minutes goes by and you're like, shit, now I can't watch Friends, or not Friends, but whatever else is on in the 90s.
Yeah. But so Roseanne and Tom Arnold used their power with the network. Like, we have that number one show on TV. You're going to set it up this way. And people kept watching.
It worked.
Up until like local affiliates complained after some number of weeks. And they're like, you can't do that. We're losing a Roseanne commercial break.
Yep.
That we could be charging huge money for. You have to stop doing this. And once they put a commercial break between the two shows, the ratings for Jackie Thomas collapsed.
Yeah.
They lost like a third of their audience. And it was not renewed for a second season. And
we'll talk about the renewal process. We'll get into the show.
You go ahead and tell the first episode.
So the first episode, they're introducing a new head writer who is coming in, played by Dennis Budiskaris.
It's not important how to pronounce his name. You just have to know that on set, I assume Roseanne and Tom Arnold were very mean about the name. I bet they were insulting it constantly and making fun of it.
We'll give you the boot. Get it? Who I actually recognize for Better Call Saul now.
Yeah.
I think he is just like a dramatic actor most of the time.
I think he's a working actor.
That's fair.
Do anything.
But like I've seen him in dramatic stuff that I've really enjoyed a bit. And he is just playing like a very believable, nice guy.
He's the straight man of the show.
Yeah, but he's not. I can't put any personality on him really in the show.
That's because when Roseanne and Tom Arnold were creating this, they never considered that the other writers on Roseanne were people. They thought so little of their that when they needed to make this character who was a TV writer, they went, nothing.
Yep. They didn't particularly they didn't give him really anything other than he's the head writer who kind of has to keep him in control.
They allude to some sort of thing that happened in his past, but we don't see it.
We don't see it. I'm sure it comes up later.
Committed hate crimes or something.
And then he's got a secretary played by Allison LaPlaca,
who she's there to basically be like, "Oh, Jackie's scary. You don't want to cross him."
I'm the woman who's going to be your romantic interest. What's up? We got the three writers: Michael Boatman, Paul Feig, and actually, I don't know who the other one was.
Yeah, I don't remember her name, but
there it is, Janetta Arnett.
There's a weird moment when they introduce her because they introduce the guy who's the new showrunner.
Yeah,
because the other one got fired by Jackie.
Yeah, he's lost like 8 showrunners or something.
Yeah, he fires anyone that disagrees with him. They set up. So this guy comes in and they are like, "Oh, we respect him. He wrote for Taxi and Cheers and Barney Miller."
Oh, yeah.
And then, so we're set up, those are respectable shows. And then that woman comes in and she's like, "I wrote for the Brady Bunch." And then everyone immediately calls her a hack. And it's so weird as time has passed. Do you know anyone that would consider any difference between Taxi and the Brady Bunch?
Yeah, actually, I would.
Really?
Yeah, Taxi is like a fairly well-respected show.
I'm just saying that joke doesn't really work to the same degree.
No, it does, though. I think it does.
Your average person on the street is just be like, those are both on Nick at Night.
Well, now, but this is 94.
No, I'm saying now. I'm saying how that joke has aged.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, but I mean, yeah, sure. I guess so. But no, the Brady Bunch is separate. Brady Bunch was considered hack even in its day because it's that like.
Yeah, I'm not arguing for the quality of the Brady Bunch. I'm just saying looking from a modern perspective.
Oh, no, that joke aged fine for me. Barney Miller and stuff. Those are shows that people, like TV people do know the difference for sure. I would consider those like to be like well-qualified shows of the time versus.
But here's the weird thing about her writing for the Brady Bunch. It is established that the only show Jackie has ever liked is Green Acres.
Yeah, what is Green Acres?
It's a sitcom from around the same time as the Brady Bunch about two people from the big city and then they move to a rural area.
Okay.
They're like rich snobs and they move to a rural area. So within this universe, he can presumably just hire the writers from Green Acres who are still alive and still working. If people that wrote on the Brady Bunch are still working and those shows exist within their universe, why is this guy that can get anything he wants from the studio and the network can't hire a single writer from Green Acres, the only show he likes?
Well, I think it's just because you wanted to do. They found out how many episodes you wanted to do in blackface, and they're like, we can't as Green Acres.
Green Acres doesn't have blackface.
No, you're right. I was trying to think of. I was trying to tie it back to episode 2, the second episode we followed. But
he doesn't do blackface.
No,
thankfully.
thank God.
I was worried.
I definitely thought there was a chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a funny. Okay, so let's
continue with the plot of the
first episode. So they go through and they're. He meets the writers. Paul Feig doesn't write shit, but
Paul Feig only does jokes because he's one of Jackie's old friends, apparently from stand-up.
Yeah,
but he hates him.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think it's just that weird loyalty thing, or maybe that's based on a real guy.
It probably is based on a real guy, but do something funnier with that. Then, like he's ostensibly Jackie's friend, but he doesn't like him. So how about he's this weird guy that Jackie trusts? He should be sabotaging him all the time, and Jackie shouldn't be realizing.
He should just be sabotaging Jackie's stuff?
But Jackie doesn't realize because he trusts him, and he's his friend.
But why is he sabotaging?
Because he doesn't like him.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He doesn't like him within the universe of the show.
I get what you mean. Yeah,
People bring up Jackie, and then he's like, I don't like that guy.
But it's he knows he can just kind of work there for free, essentially. Yeah. So why isn't he sabotaging the show or trying to because most comics are assholes in some way or another. Yeah. So if we find a way to undermine something that we don't
just for fun, which he would be doing.
Yeah.
And it would be funnier.
That would be that would actually be a Paul Feig character.
Yeah.
Like
they're not giving Paul Feig anything to work with.
Right. And here's the thing is we watched the second episode and it's not like they got more they weren't getting, I mean, one of the writers got more to work with. The episode's more about him. But overall, the characters themselves are still just kind of the bland original, like that they were in the pilot. It doesn't seem like it's been 11 episodes. It doesn't seem like they've evolved greatly. Other than they're the nice people and Jackie's the monster.
It's like they're being written by themselves.
So he goes and meets Jackie,
first they go to the set.
Yeah, they meet Martin Mull, who is playing the EP of the show because he was on Roseanne too.
Yeah, Martin Mull, always a welcome addition.
Always a welcome addition. Is a working actor.
Yeah,
will be in stuff. So Martin Mull is like, hey, you got to meet this new kid, Breckin Meyer. He's the next big thing.
And boy, I bet Breckin watches that clip all the time and tries. Because Breckin seeing a clip where next big thing, and then he goes and he looks through his filmography and there's 2 Garfield movies.
Hey, those made money.
Yeah, I know.
That's honestly, he probably does not. That I think about that sometimes, because we just do gigs that are bad sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of these are for, especially if you've been in the industry a long period of time, you just get it. You're like, I think this one's a bad one.
Yeah, I just haven't seen Breckin in anything in a while.
You haven't been miring through his IMDb?
No, what's Breckin up to?
Let's find out. We can find out what Breckin's up to. He was in all 18 episodes of this. He was fully in the show. He was the kid in the show.
Yeah, he plays Jackie's on-screen son.
Yeah, which is he's definitely just being a Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yeah, and you
Thomas
know
thing.
he's a kid from the 90s because he arrives skateboarding. Literally, the casting notice for this must have said Bart Simpson type. He's eating a Butterfinger. Whole thing.
Yeah. He blonde hair, just what's up, dorks? He's ready. But he seems like a sweet kid, and Martin Mull's like, this kid's the next big thing.
They want to make a spinoff.
Yeah. And so the next scene is he goes to Jackie Thomas, the head writer, and Tom Arnold are talking, and he's like, yeah, how about we kill that kid off?
Yeah. Well, we meet Jackie pumping iron.
Yeah.
And then he demands the head writer pump iron.
Oh, yeah. And then he does like a very bad, that's the thing is like, even that act out was bad.
Yeah.
Like that was not a convincing I'm lifting a weight act out.
Yeah.
Because
very Tim Allen. If they had inserted something about at one point Jackie was arrested for coke possession and ratted out his accomplices, then it would have been very on the nose.
Literally.
Yeah. Thank you for catching that joke. Just like some other people caught charges.
Yeah. I mean, they may have. We don't know that.
Yeah.
That's actually like, and so that's the thing is this, when did Larry Sanders come out? When was that? Was that like
probably like the same year or maybe a little later?
Maybe a little later. So it was in the air. Tom Arnold had his handle, he had his finger on the pulse.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you told me there's a show just directly lampooning Tim Allen for 30 minutes, a show, like on paper, I'm into it.
In practice, though.
In practice, it's
boring.
It's competently made, I would say, is the best. Like, it is a setup punch sitcom.
But that's not the format for the show they're trying to make.
No.
The format for the show they're trying to make isn't really going to become well established for another 10, 15 years afterwards. But even then, I don't know if that's the format they would have chosen to go for.
Yeah.
I think they may have still tried to make it this sitcom if they were making the show in 2005 instead.
Well, you get like there's like versions of I mean, this is almost you could do The Comeback as a.
I don't think they would have. I think they would have still tried to make it this way.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. It's just such a weird thing. Like, and I think the problem is we don't see enough of the world interact with Jackie outside of this room.
We get a little bit of that at the end of the second episode.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is I want to see more. I think you need more of that early on to establish.
Actually, the most we see is in the very odd opening credits, which has a sound-alike version of Enter Sandman as the theme song.
Oh, yeah.
It really sounds like Enter Sandman. But it's just a bunch of shots of like Jackie on magazine covers, and America does love him.
But we don't see America love him.
Yeah.
And that's really, I think, the main issue.
Yeah, actually, they do the live taping of the sitcom in the first episode, and the crowd is lukewarm towards him.
Yeah. Like you need, because that's actually something that happens in almost all of those shows. Thinking about it now.
Yeah.
If you're having this character, you need to establish why they're like this way.
That's a good point. When he's filming the sitcom later in the episode,
he needs to be great.
Yeah, exactly.
He needs to be great with the audience.
But he actually sucks.
Yeah, he's like, oh, by the way, guy, like, unless, like Tim Allen, I'm sure if you meet him in a place where he needs to charm you,
yeah,
is a whole different animal of Tim Allen.
And look, it's not for me, but I get why people like Home Improvement.
Yeah, Home Improvement it's not a great sitcom, but like,
I see who it's for, and I see why they like it.
Yeah. Great.
They like the grunts.
Huh?
Jackie doesn't have grunts.
But yeah, that's the other thing is people on Tim. Actually, I'll say that on Tool Time, people go nuts for Tim Allen on Tool Time. People are like, "This is the man," and they don't do that with Jackie because they're trying to make fun of it more. But that doesn't work. You need in order for it to be effective parody, it needs to be actually parodying it, not talking about how shitty it is.
Yeah, like Jackie's a giant idiot. But like even in Zoolander's a giant idiot, but a good model.
He's an incredible model.
Yeah, you can't deny that.
Jackie apparently is a good actor in the show.
But they don't show it. When they show acting scenes, he's bad.
Yeah. Like the irony of in the second episode, he's in a movie he's not supposed to be, and he gets rave reviews.
Yeah. But we see him acting.
And he's bad.
Yes.
It's such a. By the way, Breckin Meyer most recently in Crossing Swords and Robot Chicken and American Dad.
He's always in Robot Chicken.
Yeah. But I think he recently played himself in American Dad.
Good for Breckin.
Getting out there. Oh, he probably got murdered in Good Girls.
That's himself.
No, good. So I've seen a lot of the first season of Good Girls, and they just get like established dude character actor guys to just get like murdered in that show. Like they're villains for like 10 episodes and then just get wrecked.
Well, as long as he's having fun.
Yeah.
He is doing better than Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yeah, you know what? Breckin Meyer had a full career after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? We talk shit. He was on Party Down being a guy already successful.
Yeah.
I'm pro Breckin. I'm glad we came out.
Breckin yourself before you reckon yourself.
The Breckening?
Yeah.
Oh my God. If Breckin Meyer gets on like a prestige television show, it's called The Breckening.
Oh, nice.
If he gets, no, not the show itself, but just
his
like,
comeback.
Yeah, like the McConaissance.
Yeah.
We're going to get The Breckening.
Oh, let's start the Breckening right now.
Holy shit. We're starting The Breckening.
But the rest of the first episode, yeah.
Speaking of Breckening,
Yeah.
he's like, you got to kill this kid.
He specifically wants him to die in a fiery car crash.
Yeah.
So then the rest of the episode is the head writer trying to figure out how he's going to make it so that this kid doesn't get killed off and he doesn't get fired.
Basically, yeah.
Because he needs the money.
And
he needs to stay on the show.
And the director and the producer, the head producer person, the EP wants. He's like, you can't kill this kid.
Yeah.
So he's got to figure out that balance, and so he learns to work with him, I guess, from the help of the secretary.
He plays to his vanity.
Yeah,
because he's like, first he pretends to agree. He's like, we're going to kill the kid off, but there's this other way we can make you a big hero, which ends up being like the character will donate a kidney to.
So yeah, it's he's in that accident still, but he needs the kidneys. Both his kidneys fail in that time, so he needs a kidney, but. What's his name? Tom
Arnold.
Jackie Thomas. Jackie Thomas can donate one of his kidneys, but he only has one good kidney available.
Yeah.
So he's gonna do that, and then he's putting himself at risk. That's how good of a guy he is.
Yeah.
I think it's really tough to get you to root for a character or become a fan of a guy, because like people hate the dude from Game of Thrones, like the prince from Game of Thrones, still, or Draco Malfoy. It took Tom Felton. Whatever. It took Tom a fucking long time to like get back.
Yeah.
After that, because people just hated this character. So if they don't have a basis for you and you come off as unlikable, they will just assume you're a bad guy.
Yeah.
And if in your first episode you're going, hey, let's murder a kid because he's too popular.
That's just Tom Arnold, as far as you know.
Yeah, that's just a guy, and Tom's not doing an incredible acting job. He's playing like a kind of an exaggerated egomaniac version of himself.
And I truly believe, though, that Tim Allen would have tried to kill off JTT at one point.
He probably did float it.
I think this is based on a true thing. I guess would be.
I bet he was like, can we kill off that kid?
Yeah.
Probably like season 2 or something. I can look it up. Let's see.
No, it may not even be public. It would have just been something people like heard through the grapevine and in entertainment.
Tim, once you put it in that kind of category of it, it does make the show more palatable.
Yeah.
Because it is just like his job is meat grill guy.
Yeah.
It's not even really established at all. It's just like I only put it together.
Yeah, like in Home Improvement, Tim Allen is tools guy.
No, he runs a show called Tool Time.
Yeah, but we don't really know what this guy does with meat in this show.
That's what I'm saying.
Like a grilling show, yeah.
No, it's not. It's a show where he plays a grillman. I think it's like a King of Queens, but he's a grill guy.
Anyway, not important.
Yeah, it's such a weird
Yeah.
It just, I guess it's generic man thing.
But then it gets. I think the second episode is way worse.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't.
Because they try to add in way more Jackie, and he's the weak link of the show. He needs to be used very sparingly.
I don't think anyone's the strong link of the show, though.
But he's the weakest link.
I disagree with that, actually.
Okay.
I disagree with that. I think the writers are so bland, they barely pop up in my brain because they're not giving them anything, that I'm like, Jackie at least is... energy.
When they're talking about him, and he's constantly a threat, like the shark in Jaws, I think that brings energy to the show. Not a lot, but there's almost like there's an anxiety.
Yeah.
Like a bad sitcom version of Uncut Gems.
That's. I don't even know how do you keep heightening? They're like, no, just do the jokes.
Yeah, kinda.
I don't know. It's such a weird, because I mean I honestly like the whole show.
Because you don't meet Jackie until about 15 minutes into his own show.
Yeah.
The first time you see him is flashes of him in the title sequence.
Because he's
like a ghost.
But he should be. If you're going to do that, you have to make him more of a terror then. And
yeah,
because right now he's still he's just like an egomaniac.
In the first episode, though, he is like genuinely terrorizing. He wants to kill a guy off.
Right, but that's not it's still egomaniac. Like, I want him screaming more. I want him angry in a different way, and then have him as an actual threat you can play off of.
They do kind of build up like he is, but you never really see it.
That's what I'm saying.
But in the second episode, he's just dumb and doesn't understand.
It's dumb and egomaniac.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, the whole show, he's one character trait. It's that he's an egomaniac. Yeah. It's like, I can play any part. I can do anything. I'm the best at this. I'm super strong. And that's fine. And because we've kind of hinted at the second episode.
Yes.
Or, no, at the end of the first episode, they do it. Everybody, the crowd loves it. He goes, by the way, I actually have both my kidneys.
Yeah, because he was worried that he didn't understand that the difference between fictional kidneys and his real kidneys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where he lives at for the most part, is in that kind of dumb space.
But then I kind of like how the first episode actually ends. Jackie Thomas talks to the head writer, and he's like, "Hey, come hang out at the bar to celebrate the first episode, and don't invite any of the other losers." And then the head writer just kind of stands in the set solemnly as they tear down around him. It's like a weird, sad ending on that first. He's like, "Is this what I'm working for? This sucks."
Yeah, where the guy hates all the other writers.
Yeah,
I
kind of liked that ending.
I there is a version of the show that is good.
Yeah,
that's the weird thing. Like, some of these we see them and there's no vision. There's nothing.
There is a potential here. It's just not. It shouldn't be made by Tom Arnold and Roseanne, who are in their own ways Jackie Thomas.
Yeah, well,
because we should probably actually bring up, before we talk about the second episode, how Roseanne responded to critics, because it wasn't critically well received.
Yeah, people didn't, and not even poorly, because they're a lot of this stuff they were like, yeah, I just don't kind of get it.
Yeah, but they didn't like it. They weren't giving good reviews.
No, but it wasn't like this is the worst shit I've ever seen.
People may have forgotten this. Roseanne was getting very good reviews.
Yeah,
critics liked it. Won a lot of awards, so she wasn't used to this. She ended up writing a lot of letters to critics for big publications that gave bad reviews. And they became a news story on their own.
Yeah, they were
pretty mean. One of them ends up using a gay slur that I'm not going to repeat, so this podcast won't get taken down. I'm sure you can guess.
Yeah. It's the gay slur you're thinking of.
Yeah, and both her and Tom Arnold are in the press defending her use of it as the show is on the air.
Yeah, that was really a wild, because it was it's about this guy. It's not about. I was looking up. I can't even tell if he's actually gay or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
But they were like, we don't we're fine with. Let me see if I can find the exact quote, because it was such a weird. Yeah, she sent faxes.
She sent faxes.
Yeah, Matt. It was Ray Richmond, Matt Roush, and something Rosenberg of the Howard Rosenberg of the LA Times. She told them, she sent him in self-defense.
Facts in self-defense.
She defended herself, defended her use of the anti-gay epithet in her letter to Roush, saying that her comments were based on a personal thing I know about him.
The personal thing you know about him that involves the slur.
What is that? He's gay? Is that?
I guess, okay, look, if I was to use the N-word and then go, no, it's not about, it's just about this personal thing I know about him, and that thing happens to be that he's black, that doesn't make it better. And that's what Roseanne did to this guy.
Yeah, in a later interview, Tom Arnold said he supported his wife's efforts and said the epithet was based on an anti-Roush term. Yeah, what does that mean? Like,
I think they're just like, we don't like him, not because he happens to be gay, so we used that term.
yeah, it's personal. Like, notice I didn't use it in any of the other letters.
Yeah. When did she start taking Ambien? This is the real question.
I mean, that's the thing. Is she was like, I was on Ambien. It's like, yeah, but you kind of do this.
Yeah. But then, like, when the show was still doing well in the ratings, before they ended up switching, like, how it was presented and its ratings collapsed, Tom Arnold and Roseanne Barr were in public, like, doing press tours, being like, if this show gets canceled, we're moving networks. Roseanne's going to be on a different channel.
Yeah.
And we're taking this with us. Like, before it was in danger of getting canceled.
Well, but
like, they're on the Tonight Show being like, if they cancel us, we're never going to work with it. Who wants to watch a show that you only know is on the air because it's being held hostage? Like, why would you like, I better check the show out. It must be good.
Well, I think it's a weird celebrity thing of like, yeah, it's what you can kind of push when you're on top.
But, like,
why?
Have some perspective. Why does the public want to watch this show when you're telling them the only reason it's on the air is because I'm too powerful for my other show?
Well, the thing is, it's the populist theory of it. It's like critics don't like it because the network wants to take it down, but we think it's good. And you like Roseanne, right? So if we like it, why would you not like it?
So right now in the NBA draft, LeBron James's son is like a fringe prospect who might not even be good enough to be drafted.
Uh-huh.
But LeBron James has said, I'd love to play with my son someday. So now people are like, he might get drafted in the first round so that teams can sign LeBron James. And that is this show.
Yeah, 100%.
That's literally what's going on.
Yeah, they wanted Roseanne to keep on. Yeah, she threatened to leave the network before, like they used their clout to get the best time slot,
and then immediately started throwing out threats.
Yeah, they were
come on.
They were just maniacs about it. It's just the mania of like, I'm the best. I've got no willpower, or like not no willpower, but it's just like I've got no self-control.
They were living the show, literally.
Yeah,
they were just living out the plot. Insane.
That would be great if they did a documentary about making the show, and then
they did. Go to Wikipedia right now.
Did they really?
Under the cast section, it talks about a documentary about them making Roseanne, which touches on this a little bit, where they're like, yeah, this show's a lot like how they behaved on Roseanne.
Really?
Yeah. So go ahead and watch that documentary.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like while Roseanne was on the air, they made that.
That's so interesting.
Like apparently the writers were living in fear on Roseanne.
Yeah.
Because they behaved the same way. Which could mean that Paul Feig is based on Joss Whedon.
Really?
Well, Joss Whedon was a writer on Roseanne. I'm just throwing that out there.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, be the type.
Yeah.
Hey guys, if you're enjoying the episode, don't forget to rate and review and subscribe to us on iTunes, Instagram, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you ally with corporate overlords. Anyway, just go to one of those, subscribe, like us on there, figure out if we have a Patreon. I don't know if we do. Who could tell? Anyway, go check out me and Daniel on Instagram at DPIC Comedy and Daniel F. Crow. I have a comedy special on YouTube called The Goblin King, and I'm on TikTok at LickGrandma69. Okay, back to the episode. Okay, let's do the second episode.
Okay. The second episode is where Jackie decides he's black.
Yep.
And this is the highest rate. It's 9.8.
But also, I want to clarify, most of the other episodes do not have any ratings.
There were just a lot of people who rated this one highly because they're like, I hope Tom Arnold does blackface, but he doesn't.
He does not. Thank God.
So basically, one of the writers, who we didn't even mention in the first episode because he's so irrelevant.
Yeah. He's there.
He's there literally to be the black writer. They don't give him anything else in the first episode.
Michael Boatman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is there to let everybody know
that they know a black person.
And he's fine with this show.
And in this episode, he sold a screenplay. It's like an autobiographical screenplay.
Uh-huh.
And then Jackie gets cast in it.
Yeah.
In a role that was written for a black actor.
Holy shit!
And
I
then-
just realized
what?
I recognized him and I couldn't figure out why. It's because he's like good at other things. He's from The Good Wife.
Well, he's so bad in this that you didn't recognize him as good.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally, I just didn't even recognize. I was like, but then I went to his IMDb and I was like, wait, that guy. He's so bland in the show. They give him zero personality, even in the like regular part. Like
Yeah.
even when he has like it's the episode's about him.
Yeah. And it's such a boring it's so dull throughout. So then Jackie gets a role as like a guidance counselor in that film.
So no, it's much worse than that. So Jackie finds the script. He then goes, "Hey, you got a great script here." He broke open the guy's desk to read the script and goes, "I would love a part in this." He's like, "Well, that is a personal story about my father and my guidance counselor. And this time, I like stole a bunch of tests answers and sold them for like 10 grand. And then this guidance counselor helped me not do that. And he's like, great, I'll play the guidance counselor." He's like, he's black. He's like, not anymore.
Yeah, I think he had already been cast.
Oh, he he pulled strings.
Yeah.
He literally just
Well, because he is a big star within this universe.
yeah. So he's like, yeah, I just told him I wanted to do it. And then they're gonna have Sidney Poitier.
Yeah, so they said Sidney Poitier is playing the writer's dad in this movie. And I was like, man, if Sidney Poitier agreed to cameo in this show,
That would have been so funny.
I would have.
That's almost how you know he's not gonna
Because
be in it.
there is a weird thing where I would say half the shows we end up talking about, there's a weird Oscar winner just somewhere in it. And if it had been Sidney Poitier in this, I would have lost my mind.
Just deliver the reason you can't even get him, like, not even if you could, let's just say you could get all the steps to Sidney to agree.
Yeah.
You don't want him on the show because it will show how bad all the other acting is.
Yeah.
He'll just be having this gravitas around Sidney Poitier.
Here's the thing. Okay. There's no chance they would ever get Sidney Poitier.
Yeah.
If they somehow could, the best joke they can do is have him be exactly the same as Jackie. That would be hilarious.
That's a great joke.
Yeah.
That's a great joke.
If he and Jackie get along and they're both doing fake board breaking exercises.
Yeah, it's
Because that's like there's like an extended sequence of Jackie fake breaking boards throughout this episode.
so he has the 3 boards stacked up while he's
Yeah.
like talking out this movie I pitch. He's basically like talking out, he's like, "Oh, we need more jokes in it, this dramatic story."
Yeah.
And he keeps trying to like karate chop, and then he keeps taking away boards as he goes until there's one board left. And they're still pretty thick boards. If he
Yeah.
could break through that, it would be impressive.
But he throws a weight on it.
Well, yeah, no, he takes it out of the way and he hits the small one. And then he throws a weight on the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so if Sidney Poitier had showed up and done that exact same thing, even get a lookalike.
A Sidney Poitier lookalike.
Here's the thing. So the Sidney Poitier ends up not taking the role because of scheduling conflicts, and then they give it to Jackie. So he ends up playing the black dad, but not in blackface, thankfully. A funny thing, if you can get a Sidney Poitier lookalike who just decides that Jackie's better for the role, that's funny.
That's funny. Yeah, you can't have it be. I think part of the problem is that we're watching the id of 2 monsters who force their way through every step of this,
Yeah.
then realize that their plot points are going to be this guy forces his way through all of this.
Yeah.
Instead of doing interesting things where the world, because Jackie, if he just is a charming person who the world keeps working out for, those people exist.
Mhm.
Those people who don't have a care in the world because the world keeps working in their favor without any real need of their own to be anything other than kind of charming.
Yeah.
Like if Jackie had been super charming and fun, like in the first scene, you should see why people like him, because he would, like, I'm sure the first day you meet Tim Allen, if you have power with him, he's very nice.
So so he is he's a comic within this world as well.
Yeah.
It should probably open with him just murdering on stage.
Destroying. Just
Like
show
a
us.
giant theater or arena destroying, and then he has to go meet him backstage. Like that's actually an intimidating thing.
Right. And then he can be kind of a dick. He's like still hopped up from like doing a show. So he's got that energy going
Yeah.
on. And it'd be like, and then even at that point,
I would say no, I know, I've been in this situation. Every comic I know has been in this situation. When you really crush, you're kind of the meanest person in the room for about 20 minutes.
you can,
When
yeah,
you really crush,
when you demolish.
you're just walking around being like, I'm better than everyone here.
Yeah.
So you can kind of excuse it for a minute.
And then like, yeah, it's that thing of imagine if you're doing that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's levels of that will get in. Yeah. So it's like that would be an interesting way to like start it off. But yeah, he's just like he comes in and he's just this like unlikable lump of an evil person.
He's Tom Arnold.
We don't even know. I bet Tom Arnold is charming at points. I bet that's how it works. I bet like Tom Arnold overall is pretty charming.
One person has been charmed by Tom Arnold, and it was Roseanne, and it wore off after this show.
Yeah, after working, maybe that's she like would leave the writers' rooms and stuff, and then come back and be like, "What did you guys do?"
Yeah, like she'd go focus on her own show.
Yeah, that's the other thing is Roseanne is at peak power at this point.
Yeah,
like this is like her show is a hit, major success.
Yeah.
So she's still running the
Roseanne was such
show.
a hit that they could reboot it 20 years later and it was a hit again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I guess like Night Court is doing that right now.
It wasn't as big as Roseanne was when it came back.
No, that's true. I'm surprised it's getting a third season, but that's a whole other. Anyway, guys, I'll be writing for Night Court's 4th season.
Did you hear they're doing a spinoff, Afternoon Court?
What is after? Yeah, what's
just normal court?
It's
normal court.
It's a lot of traffic violations.
Yeah, it's not funny at all.
I don't think I even really understood what Night Court was for a long time.
Court at night.
I got it now, but it's like, oh, that's what prostitutes are there.
What
and
were
drunks.
you confused about?
Well, I was just like, court at night. Who cares? Like what it like, or it's a guy named like I just didn't like my brain didn't put the premise together.
It's just all cases involving knights.
I would watch that
My
show.
squire. It's crossed me yet again. Anyway, so Jackie just keeps screwing up the movie.
Yeah. Well, he keeps intentionally making it worse.
He thinks he's making it better, to be clear.
But he keeps intentionally like asking for things like, let's make it more funny. Let's add jokes to it. And then what else? Oh, he plays the dad.
Yeah.
His black father.
Meets him. Thought he was going to meet Sidney Poitier. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. And then you find out, the dad doesn't approve of his life.
Yeah, man, I've seen that plot line 100 times and it never gets more. Okay, hey, just a message to all writers out there. No one cares that your parents don't approve that you're a writer, so stop writing that. Okay?
Yeah. I like the idea of they were real. I like the idea of he was incredibly supportive of it, and that if it doesn't work, like it's just not working that well.
Yeah.
You're like on a network sitcom.
But there is also this weird moment when he's talking to his dad because a lot of the show it's anti-Jackie. So in doing so, it is almost anti-commercialism because Jackie is an avatar for commercialism within this universe. But then there is a line when the writer's talking to his dad and he's like, I'd rather write for 1 million than 100. And his dad goes, people or dollars? And he goes, both. So like the moral of the character we're supposed to root for within this episode is also commercialism is better than art.
I guess.
But also, like, the show itself is like, look at this idiot that's also all about commercialism.
Yeah, it's the corruption of it.
So what is this show about?
It's about making fun of, it's about having a chip on your shoulder about Tim Allen.
Yeah, I guess.
Fuck, I gotta start writing more of my enemies into scripts. I should just...
No, this wasn't good.
No, but there's a good concept around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, like, I like the concept so much more now, like, thinking about it from that angle.
Yeah.
But let's see. That's basically. The episode ends with the movie's a flop, but they blame the writer, and Tom Arnold's character is a huge hit in it.
Yeah, the critics love Tom Arnold.
They think his acting is incredible in that movie.
John Tesh cameo.
I missed it.
He's one of the anchors.
Oh,
yeah, because he was an anchor in real life for like Entertainment Tonight or something like that.
Did not realize that. Didn't know what John Tesh looked like.
Well, he says, "I'm John Tesh."
I was making a mistake at that point. Didn't realize
making
that
a mistake by missing out on this John Tesh cameo.
I was just like, there are 2 news anchors I see.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Breckin Meyer's doing fine, by the way.
Good for Brecken.
The Breckening.
Yeah. Oh, man. Now I feel like I should recommend a show with Breckin Meyer in it.
Yeah. What do you got?
The Robot Chicken, I guess. Good for Brecken.
How would you improve? I feel like we've talked about how we'd improve the show.
Yeah, no, look, the show can be improved by taking some creative control away from Tom Arnold and Roseanne Barr.
Yep, yeah.
And replacing Tom Arnold in the show.
You think just replacing it totally?
Well, I also think taking creative control away from him, they will add some nuance to the character.
Yeah,
literally, Tom Arnold is the character
Right. I think you could almost have a be like a.
Oh, we also forgot to mention that the show got canceled after one season, and in retaliation, they went and created the show Tom for CBS, which also got canceled in one season.
Yep.
America rejects Tom Arnold completely.
Well, America rejects Tom's vision of Tom Arnold specifically.
They accept True Lies, but thanks in no part to Tom Arnold. And then nothing else Tom Arnold ever works.
Yeah, he still just works constantly.
Yeah, but not in things people are liking.
That's fair. I don't know. I'm sure he's shouting out,
Billionaires' sons all over the country are getting movies made starring Tom Arnold.
"Hey, kid, you're all right."
Yeah, just they need to listen to some outside voices.
Yeah.
And John Michael Higgins would be a better fit for that role.
I think there's a million crazy egomaniacs, but if you just make Tom Arnold not the head writer of the show,
Yeah.
I think they add depth to that character, because like what we're technically watching is the show that Jackie Thomas would write about his show.
No,
that's
the
true.
writers
Right.
would look like bigger idiots rather than just boring.
And he could time travel.
It's a small writers' room, by the way, right? 4 people.
It's a very small writer's
Yeah.
room. Yeah. Well, they had to hire the secretary
Yeah.
as a character, and Martin Mull wasn't cheap. Okay. As far as shows I recommend, I'll Party Down or The Comeback. That's a better showbiz show with
Yeah,
Lisa
if you're going to
Kudrow.
recommend The Comeback, because I'll switch to Party Down since
Great.
Breckenmeyer's in that. And
Both great showbiz
I don't
shows.
I don't really like Robot Chicken. I'm just trying to do something nice for Brecken.
You were gonna do Franklin and Bash.
No, I'm all Bash, no Franklin.
He was in. Wow, I didn't realize he was in 60 episodes of King of the Hill. Plays
I'm
Joe.
switching my answer to King of the Hill.
King of the Hill, great show I missed out on early on
Yeah.
because of my prejudices as a child.
Yeah, I'm legitimately switching to. That's actually a show I really do like.
King of the Hill is great.
I do like Party Down, but I like King of the Hill more.
Really, I like Party Down more than King of the Hill,
That's
but
fine.
that's allowed. Yeah, I think The Comeback is really great with Lisa Kudrow being an out of work sitcom star who is an egomaniac. She's a rampant egomaniac. And the entire show is her fighting with the writers about like all this stuff because she's slowly being like replaced as a character. But the interesting thing about it is she has no power. So she has to be creative and learn all this interesting stuff, as opposed to Tom Arnold, who they gave all the power to.
Yeah.
Or honestly, I think if you have 3 more, if you give the writers anything, if you make the writers real characters more.
Yeah. Rather than, Funko Pops.